Yeah.
And my whole goal in this is to invite the other municipalities around us and invite the county in. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not hating on any one government entity. I'm simply saying there is a problem here. People are losing their homes over taxes, and we need to recognize that. And I think that we have people in this community, in this county, that are smart enough to figure this out. And if we join forces, I think that we can come to a solution that can relieve this burden from our citizens. I really believe that.
Well, another interesting point I'd bring up would be with EVAC. When the budget crunch came in, up until that point, we were giving them $3 million a year subsidy. Now, and people started screaming, we don't need EVAC, let's go to fire transport. All of a sudden, EVAC said, gee, we can get by with 1.5. We don't really need $3 million.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that amazing? So what were they doing with that other 1.5 all those years that they were getting it?
And while you're on that subject, it's no secret that I'm a firefighter, but you know, they're talking about a consolidated dispatching center. And I guess the county would like to head that up, and that's great. That's forward thinking that we would do something like that. That we would bring the dispatching center into a consolidated area. The issue that I have with it is the county is kind of holding it over the city's heads and saying you know you will be a part of this, or we won't issue your certificate of need for your services, because they really hold the ticket on that, and they're the ones that authorize the municipalities to be allowed to provide EMS and provide fire. So it's kind of a strong arm approach, and we just need to be more efficient. We need to look at out of the box ideas, and I invite everyone, not just government officials, because to be honest with you, there could be some John Q. public out there that really has the idea, and if you're out there, bring it to City Hall. If you have ideas on how to solve this antiquated tax levy, bring it to City Hall, because it needs to be changed. It's hurting people.
My question would be at this point though, with a new city manager just coming in, and he being on probation, I think it is, or
sure.
At this time, do you think maybe this is a little bit of a load to put on him when he's probably still not even sure where his chair's at in his office?
Not at all, not at all, because and I said it the night at the meeting, this issue is sensitive because, for one, it is the best kept secret in government. Mm-hmm. Property taxes, without a doubt, are the best kept secret in government, and if we can just keep property taxes going the way that they are, it's a cash cow and it's free money. It has nothing to do with one's ability to pay, and if they don't pay, then we have leverage. We have property that we can sell and get our property tax. So I would have never put this on the floor if I didn't have complete confidence in the people that serve with me and the city manager that we hired. And the city manager is just one more point of how we're trying to be more efficient within our government. He took a pay cut to come to Holly Hill.
Right.
And so I think he's an out-of-the-box thinker. I've had many meetings with him, and he likes the idea. He's up for the challenge. He's already started in City Hall placing suggestion boxes, and suggestion boxes sounds like a menial idea, but if we can't get ideas and communication back and forth, we may never solve it. So I have employees that have great ideas. Well, why not listen to them? You
have a good point there, the point being that so many government officials or bosses or in any level always think that they know all there is to be known and that nobody else has any intelligent ideas. And
sure.
A lot of big corporations have those suggestion boxes around their plants and their stores and wherever they have work people.
Yeah, because your best ideas, I'll be quite frank, I'll use the example of the guy that cuts the grass at City Hall. If I want to know how to cut the grass more efficient, I need to go talk to him, because he's the one that does it. So we need to let our employees express their ideas. We're not going to take all their ideas, but they have ideas on how to best run whatever task it is that they're doing. And you know, The other issue that I wanted to bring up is some of the bureaucrats, part of the establishment that don't like my idea, that want to keep it quiet, have tried to make this about me. And it's no secret that I live on the river. I have a house on the river, and it was built in 1936. And my portion of the city property tax is just over $2,000. My entire property tax is right around $10,000. That's
Wow.
no secret. But here's the thing that I want to make a point on. The issue is much larger than me. And if you look at any issue that has ever been championed, if you look at MAD or issues for veterans or issues for Amber Alert or AA, they've always been championed by someone with a dog in the race.
Yeah.
That understands the issue well. And the difference in me and the average citizen is that I'm in a position that I can actually start the conversation. And as a responsible elected official, I have an obligation to start that conversation. So for everyone that wants to make this about me and my property taxes, and if I'm making so much money, if I'm so rich, I would really care less about $2,000 a year in city taxes. So it's not about me, it's about the people and how we're hurting them and how they're losing their homes.
Well, you're new to politics. This is your first run at it.
Sure.
I know I tried to run last year. I learned an awful lot by trying to run. But the thing that I ran on, the platform that I ran on at that point too, was, you know, if you want politically correct, don't vote for me. If you
Yes.
want a conformist, don't vote for me. And if you want a politician, don't vote for me. Well, sounded good to me. Of course, I lost. But the bottom line is, it's when citizens take an interest and get active and do things is when we make things happen.
Absolutely. And I've made it a point to, I've had numerous emails from citizens. My schedule is slammed with personal meetings to them because I want to hear their ideas. I want to listen to them. I am no different than them other than I have one vote on a board of 5. Mm-hmm. So they may have the ideas. I don't have all the answers, and I'll readily admit I don't have the magic pill for property taxes. But the conversation needs to be brought up, and we need to bring it into a think tank. My ultimate goal, what would satisfy me more than anything, is if the county and the other municipalities would join us and we create a think tank of citizens and elected officials, and we figure out how we could be the first county in the entire state or the country that doesn't levy property tax.
How much of the city's property taxes go to the county? And how much stays in the city?
Oh, you're talking about the collection agency?
Yeah.
I refer to it. I believe it's around $1 million is what comes off the top. So you're talking like $3.5 million of property tax is paid in, and the county pulls $1 million of that off the top, and 2.5 comes back to the city. And those are rough numbers, so those aren't exact, but it's roughly around $1 million is what the county gets to keep for collecting it.
Okay, and then the $2+ million comes back to the city.
Yes, sir.
I thought that the city or that the county was taking more money than that from the city, from your actual property taxes.
I don't believe so. I don't know. I believe it's around $1 million from my conversations with my finance director, and I will find that out. Yeah. But there is, and that's something else people don't understand is the money that's collected, that line item that you see, that you know, average $300 is what the average citizen in Holyoke pays. The city doesn't get that. They get a portion of that because the county takes a portion for collecting it.
Oh, you got your school districts, you got your hospital districts, and these are all...
now, if you're talking about all your other districts, I was just talking of the city, because the city tax alone, we don't actually get all of that. There's a portion that the county takes for collecting.
I know.
But then you also have your school board, which is a $440 million budget.
Yeah.
That's $500 million. To give you an idea of what that number is, the entire county budget is just over $300 million. The entire city of Daytona Beach's budget is just over $200 million. So that's a substantial budget.
So if the county could cut down on some of the taxes, some of the spending that they're doing,
Sure.
they could take less from the city. Is that the way it works?
Well, if they could take less from the citizens.
Yeah.
On their particular line item of the tax roll.
Okay,
Sure.
right. So it would lower taxes all the way around for everybody.
Sure.
What do you think about the fire transport, being a fireman?
I think that if you're going to do a fire transport, I think that you need to use the most efficient model. And currently, it's no secret, I work for the city of Daytona Beach. I work for the Daytona Beach Fire Department. And I'm not saying this because I work there. I've said this to my city manager and others. The most efficient model is Daytona Beach. Mm-hmm. Currently, we have 3 rescue trucks that are ready to go. We run them now. We just don't transport because we don't have that certificate of need to transport. They haven't granted us that from the county. But if you look at all of the fire agencies within Volusia County, Daytona Beach is really the only fire department that can actually run a fully involved structure fire without any outside assistance. Now, your other agencies can't do that, and the reason they can't is because, not because they're any less capable or they're less trained, because their people are just as well capable and they're just as fine firefighters. It's simply a numbers game. And the NFPA, National Fire Protection Agency, they require a 2 in and 2 out. They require certain numbers to be on a fire. And if you take South Daytona and Holly Hill, which are real comparable, they have 1 engine. So they have no choice but to call in an outside agency to meet those numbers.
Right.
It's not a matter that they're inadequate or they're not capable or they're less trained or they have some deficiency within their department. It's simply a numbers game. And so if we're talking about fire transport or consolidating the fire service, you need to look at all of the models around you and find out who is the most efficient. And if you look at Volusia County Fire, you're talking about a $26 million budget, and in their fire service from 2002 to 2008, they overspent, according to Morgan at the tax office, they overspent by 101%. So, you know, I think we need to take a look at what is the most efficient model and go with that.
Well, let's, in the last closing minute here or two, can you give me some idea of where you think in Holly Hill we can cut some expenses to make things more, not use the word cut, where we can be more efficient in some areas?
Sure, we've already done some of those things with bringing in a city manager at a reduced rate with no golden parachute. What we've done is we've looked at some energy consumption within the water department, and we're looking at a system over there that's going to cost us $15,000 out of pocket with a $9,000 a year return on energy savings. That's an 18-month rate of return on your investment. I don't think you get that anywhere in the market. The other thing that we're doing is we're looking at the windows in City Hall. We're looking at a lot of our area is green energy, because energy is going to do nothing but get more expensive. And just be more efficient in our purchasing and how we purchase things. If we're buying, you know, and it's every little thing counts. That's the ticket here. If you save 100 here, 500 there, 1,000 there, before you know it, you get up to $250,000. Yeah. It all adds up. So we got to look at everything.
Well, you know, this half hour has gone by pretty quick.
It has, and I had a good time. I want to thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for coming here today.